Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboy Roundup, team working out veteran DEs, Turpin gets more reps. Happy Thursday, Cowboys Nation, it's time to ring in August. The Cowboys have the day off after the first two padded practice of training camp, but did you know there is football on tonight? From now, until February, there will be football every Thursday night. Sure, it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame game between the Houston Texans and Chicago Bears, but it means Dallas Cowboys football, Sunday, August 11th against the Los Angeles Rams, is getting closer. While we wait for the Cowboys to return to practice on Friday morning, let's take a look at some of the headlines making the rounds. Following the injury to Sam Williams, the Cowboys are looking to bring in some reinforcements at defensive end. On the team's day off, a handful of veteran free agents will be coming in for workouts, with Carl Lawson, who has played for the Cincinnati Bengals and New York Jets, as the standout name. Cavante Turpin is a Pro Bowl return specialist who is going to have some great opportunities with the NFL's new kickoff rules, but he's also getting some extra looks on offense. Turpin received some quality reps at WR3 this week during practice, and they're finding other ways to work him into the offense. The former USFL MVP can make magic happen with the ball in his hands, so it only makes sense for the time to get him more touches and give him the opportunity to make more plays. Trayvon Diggs claps back after top 10 cornerback snub. Trey Lance training camp struggles continue with two brutal INTs. Cowboys rookies Tyler Guyton, Cooper Beebe praised by offensive line expert. Dak Prescott disrespected again, fails to crack top 15 of NFL top 100 list. Tyler Guyton impressing Cowboys vets after first padded practice. Cowboys rookie ready to step up following Sam Williams' injury. Dallas Cowboys, Jalen Tolbert wildly disrespected in WR3 rankings. Kalen Carson involved in first scuffle of Cowboys training camp. Cowboys top edge rushers both rank in top 10 of Madden 25 ratings. Cowboys trade pitch lands them Saints cheap former 17 TD RB. The Dallas Cowboys could be an ideal landing spot for a young running back. As Blogging the Boys' Dan Rogers suggests in his 5 running backs that the Cowboys should consider trading for, he mentions the New Orleans Saints' Kendre Miller as one of those players. The 22-year-old was a third-round draft pick of the Saints last season. However, he finds himself likely buried on the depth chart with Alvin Kamara back in the fold and Jamal Williams still on the roster. To top it all off, Rogers mentions how the Cowboys showed interest in the former TCU running back during a pre-draft visit last year. The Cowboys have already shown interest in him as he had a pre-draft visit last year, writes Rogers. Health will be a factor, but a young player with lots of tread left on the tire and 3 more years of a cheap rookie deal could pique the Cowboys' interest. Miller saw sporadic playing time during his rookie season while backing up Kamara and Williams, posting just 156 rushing yards and 1 touchdown while appearing in just 20% of the offensive snaps in the 8 games he appeared in. However, the Cowboys would represent a more open competition for Miller. He would have a legit shot at winning the starting job with no clear-cut starting running back established in the backfield. Miller would be competing with older veterans such as Ezekiel Elliott and Royce Freeman along with players who have never been starting running backs in the NFL in Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis, and Rico Dowdle. The 6-foot, 220-pound Miller was prolific while helping lead the TCU Horned Frogs to a national championship game appearance during the 2022 season. Miller ran for 1,399 yards and 17 touchdowns along with a 6.2 rushing average. He ranked 8th in the nation in rushing touchdowns and 2nd in the Big 12 during the 2022 season. During the 2021 season, his 7.5 yards per carry, he ran for 623 yards on 83 carries, led the nation in rushing average. At the current moment, Miller is competing with former undrafted free agent Jordan Mims for the 3rd spot on the running back depth chart. The team signed veteran Jamal Williams to a 3-year deal last offseason, and they still have Alvin Kamara under contract for 2 more years, writes Rogers. The team also likes what they've seen from last year's undrafted free agent Jordan Mims, who was believed to be in a battle for the RB3 spot with Miller. Making matters worse is that Miller injured his hamstring on the first day of training camp, putting his roster spot in jeopardy. While Miller is a former third-round draft pick, there is no way the Saints would recoup that value in a potential deal for him. The more likely scenario is a low draft pick, whether that's a 5th or a 6th-round pick, would be sufficient in acquiring the 22-year-old running back via trade. Especially considering Miller could very well be on the way out if Mims ends up out-competing him during training camp. Dallas Cowboys QB Dak Prescott predicted to bolt after this season for $224 million contract. The Dallas Cowboys are entering one of the most pivotal seasons in franchise history, as this could be the last year with the current talented roster intact to chase a Super Bowl. After the Dallas Cowboys fell to the Packers in a surprise upset in the wild card round last year, there was a general sentiment amongst NFL insiders that Jerry Jones might blow the whole thing up. Instead, he decided to ride with Mike McCarthy, who is entering the final year of his contract, and keep Prescott at QB. So instead, the Dallas Cowboys lost several starters, including OL Tyron Smith, RB Tony Pollard, and other key pieces on both sides of the ball. While Prescott's postseason struggles have been well documented, he enters 2024 as the number 6 QB in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus, and if he hits the open market following this season, there will be a minimum of 5 teams, likely more, lining up to make him the highest-paid QB in the NFL. Jones and the Cowboys brass is taking a major risk, and while some insiders believe the organization still plans to reach a long-term deal with Prescott, the QB now holds all the power and shouldn't have any urgency to sign. "I want to be here, but when you look up, all the great quarterbacks I watched played for other teams," Prescott said. "That's not something to fear. It may be a reality for me one day. It may not be my decision. That's the freedom that I have." All this has Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox predicting that Prescott will bolt Dallas when free agency hits in 2025. Knox projected that Prescott will land a 4-year, $224 million from another team next offseason. Knox believes this is Prescott's last season with the Dallas Cowboys. By waiting, the Cowboys have allowed Prescott to watch as Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence signed their extension, Knox detailed in a July 26, 2024, story titled Projecting Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy Contracts After Tua Tagovailoa Deal. Now Tagovailoa's contract is done too. Even if Prescott isn't looking to top the market, he'll want $53.2 million annually at a minimum. "It's starting to feel like a split between Dallas and Prescott is inevitable," he wrote. "The question is which quarterback-needy team will pony up for the 3-time Pro Bowler in 2025. The Dallas Cowboys have a few massive decisions to make sooner rather than later. The first is to lock down CeeDee Lamb to a new deal before the 2024 season, then Jerry and Stephen Jones can focus on trying to find a way to keep Prescott in town. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Dak Prescott? Leave your opinion in the comments.